just want to say that he is a living example of this. About 2 or 3 years ago, when I met him for the first time personally, I was introduced by our god sister Kanka Mataji, and she introduced my wife and myself as being very old devotees that we joined in 1967, and Maharaj immediately bowed his head and said, "Oh, we owe you a great debt of gratitude." So he doesn't just speak these things. See, he was already practicing this 2-3 years ago, and now speaking about it the other day. So he was practicing these things. And it was very encouraging to me because I've never been a devotee in the forefront. I've done some little service. And generally, many devotees, leaders, have to say, don't give me much attention, occasionally, but not the kind of encouragement of just being appreciated for whatever little bit I did. Doesn't have to be any big fanfare, just appreciation, just honest appreciation for whatever little bit I did. So I appreciate that. It was very encouraging. Thank you, Maharaj.
I'd like to end by giving my appreciation for those beautiful dramas that were performed last week. Each one was so very, very special in its own unique way. Sometimes it was stabbing and killing and raping. And other times there was beautiful humility and begging and shelter, and chanting, forgiveness. But one that very deeply struck my heart was the story of our god sister Ladini Devi, because I knew her very closely since 1972. And knowing her all those years, and we did many different types of services in harmony with one another, I can say this: that last scene where she gave her life willingly, in one sense, it was devastating to the heart to lose a god sister like that. But in another sense, there's no question. For her, it was an honor. I know her very well, and I'm sure that when she stood in front of those bullets, in her heart, she was unlimitedly grateful and honored for the auspicious opportunity to give her life to serve others. She did not think, she knew she would die, there was no question. She didn't think she was going to lose her life. She knew for sure, with 100% total faith, that she was going to gain eternal life with Krishna, with Srila Prabhupada. She took shelter, and she was grateful. So when we read about Ranti Dev, and we think long ago there were people like this, but in that drama of Hladini, which is a true story, which just happened a couple decades ago, we saw the living embodiment of Ranti Dev, of taking shelter and praying for the opportunity to give one's life to be an instrument of Krishna's grace for others. And how they connected the story of Jatayu to Hladini was so perfect. Because in the story of Jatayu, who knew he would die, but rather than just sit back and let Sita be abducted, he came forward and gave his life. And in Ramayana, Lord Ram put his head, Jatayu's head on Ram's lap and wept tears and said, "Today I send you to my eternal abode, to be my eternal associate." So we could know on that day that Srila Prabhupada and Radha Gopinath had Hladini's head on their lap to send her back to the spiritual world. Not because just what she did, but the spirit of being unlimitedly grateful and honored to be an instrument of grace to help others. And that's why she could be so blissful when she raised her arms to cry out the holy names. Because with a grateful heart, she was taking shelter. So let us follow in the footsteps of these great souls and perform Nam Kirtan in that spirit.